Alright, what's going on everybody? This is BrickFox here, and I'm here to show you how to go about creating a character for the Starfinder rule set on Fantasy Grounds. Alright, this won't be a detailed video on the rules and the definitions of Starfinder. I'm just going through the order of events and populating your sheet the correct way. Now, if you're interested in a more detailed video, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll definitely put one out for you guys. Alright, so we're going to start off by opening up the Data tab. And what you'll see here is the core rulebook. If you do not have the core rulebook selected already, you'll want to go ahead into your modules and just go ahead and select that. See, I have it loaded here. It's telling me to unload it. Now, if there's an X here, you'll definitely want to put a check mark so that your players can see it. When you're loading all these other modules for Starfinder, you may not want your players to see them, but definitely the core rulebook you'll want your players to have. Okay, so now that that's loaded, I'm going to click the core rulebook and just drag the reference manual over into my hotbar. And the reason why I do that is because if I want to easily reference the rulebook for anything when it comes to creating my character, and I don't want to just go through these and click every single thing individually, I'll go here. You know, it'll tell me about my languages, vital statistics, etc. If I want to go into equipment, you know, and I have the whole rulebook at my fingertips right there. Alright, so now that I've done that, I'm going to start creating a character. I have already created a pre-gen character for the Starfinder Society games, and I just imported it here so that I could show you a different class. But today we're going to be creating an envoy, a human envoy. And what I'm going to do is I hit the edit button and I'm going to hit the plus sign. Okay, this opens up a brand new character sheet for me. I could close that out. And the first thing I'll do is I'll start with a name. So this is Horror Fox, okay? She's going to be a human, female. And the next thing that I want to populate is the race. Now I'm not going to type the name in. Most of this stuff is drag and drop. Some things like Homeworld will be something that I'll type in. But for this time being, we're going to be dragging and dropping. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is add the race. So I'm going to take the human race and I'm just going to drag it over. And you'll see that if I click on human, I scroll down, it tells me my ability mods are any one to +2. Okay, so with other races, it'll automatically generate it because it's already a given attribute. Humans, however, you get a +2 to anyone. So I'm going to choose charisma and hit OK. All right, you'll see that these traits are also here, and my hit points. This has already been populated by choosing this. Okay, and we'll look at that a little bit later. Okay, so next thing we'll do is our theme. So we're going to close out races, and we want to input our theme. Right? She's an ace pilot, so I'm just going to drag that over. Okay, and you'll see that we actually get a theme knowledge, which will populate in abilities. Okay, and we get a +1 to our dex. Okay, it also piloting. We get, if you look here, we'll see that in our theme knowledge that we get to reduce the DC of knowing about starships and hotshot pilots and vehicles by 5, right? And that's totally fine with being there, but it also says piloting is a class skill for us, though if it's already a class skill from the class we take, we get a +1 to our piloting checks. Okay, so at this point, we do not have this auto-populating. We're going to have to generate that ourselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep that up just to remind myself that I need to input a +1. This is our ability scores that just popped up after we just put in the theme. Okay, so before we do our class, we want to put in our ability scores, and this window will pop up and generate so that we can go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in 10 points. All right, 16, 12, 14, and 11. All right. And just so you guys know, I can't have more than an 18 at character creation, and also that I cannot take away from a score and then put it in something else. It's just 10 base stats that I add. Okay, that's it. All right, you'll notice that a lot of this stuff is just populated a little bit more, and you'll see my fortitude and reflex has gone up because of my modifiers. So this is already auto-populating, which is awesome. I don't have to do all the legwork myself. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop open classes, and I'm going to drag the class that I want into the class and level. Now, if I wanted to level up, all I would have to do is just drag this back over again, and it'll level me up to level 2. And multi-classing, that's how that's going to work, is you're just going to drag the class over. Alright, we're only going to do this once because we're level 1. Homeworld is something that we are going to type in. It's not auto-populated by drag and drop. And she's actually from Eox. Eox is the undead planet that's a part of the Pact Worlds. She is a human, but she just happened to be born in Eox. And I'm going to get to why I'm writing Eox there instead of Absalom Station, which is like the home world for like the human race. Now you'll see that the hit points and stamina points, that all got populated. If you look here, that everything was populated via the drag and drop from the class. And you'll see that we get some bonuses to our reflex and will saves. Our skill ranks have been 8 plus 1. We have some expertise and other proficiencies that were added, and you'll see that this is all populated here now, right? So now that we're done with this area over here, I'm actually gonna go into my abilities, and I'm gonna look really quick to see what else I got. I noticed that as an envoy, I get envoy improvisation. I get a choice of using one of these, right? And I'll get another one at level 2. So right now I'm just going to pick one, and I'm actually going to pick Inspiring Boost. Okay. If I look at that, it's allowing me as a standard action to give some stamina points back to my companions that were actually injured, right? So it'll say twice my envoy level plus my charisma modifier, which equals to 5 in total. Now that that's done, I'll look here and I'll see I have expertise, right? So that means I get to, when I'm attempting a sense motive check, as long as I have 1 resolve point, I can roll a 1d6 to add to result that of my d20 and my bonus sense motive modifier, all right? But with my skill expertise, I notice that I get to do that with another one of the following list. Right, so when I look at this, I'm going to say, okay, I do want bluff, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unlock this, and I'm going to write bluff here. That way I know that I get to do this with bluff, and that's my skill choice, and my GM now knows that as well. All right, theme knowledge, it says that I do get that +1 bonus to piloting, and I'm going to actually go ahead to go to my skills really quick, and I'm just going to add 1 on the miscellaneous tab here. And you'll see all this stuff has generated. I'll go ahead and talk about that in a moment. I actually just want to look over here to finish up my racial traits. The bonus feat we get as a human, we actually get to select 1 extra feat, so I'm going to make sure that I populate that. Skilled, right? We get an additional skill rank at 1st level. This is already accounted for us. If you saw what I said earlier, we get 8 skill points plus our intelligence modifier as an envoy. You'll see I have 9 here, and that's because the racial feat was populated automatically. Okay. Our proficiencies are all laid out here. Basic melee, grenade, light armor, small arm. If I need to know anything about them, I just go ahead and click them. I want to populate my feats. Click this open. I'm actually going to choose 2 feats here. I'm choosing long arm proficiency, okay, because I do not have proficiency in long arms, and I, as an envoy, feel like I want to stay far away from the battle. I don't really want to be in close combat quarters, so I want to shoot from a little bit of afar and have that range. So I'm going to get that long arm proficiency. I'm going to put it in feats. Now, you can, however, also put it in feats and in proficiency, just so that you know that this feat is here. It's up to you. It's, to me personally, this is the way that I do that. What I'm also going to get as a feat is I'm going to grab improved feint, right? So that's going to allow me to use my feint as a move action as opposed to a standard action. All right, now that I did that, we're going to go ahead and populate our skills. Okay, I have 9 to choose from, and I'm going to put 1 rank in each one of the ones that I feel that I'm going to use. Right? Medicine, definitely. Perception. Piloting, 100%. I'm going to choose a profession. Sense motive. And let's see. Sleight of hand. Okay, so those are the 9 that I'm choosing. If you notice on the right here, it's showing red on a couple of ones, and that's because you cannot use these skills without being trained. And if I go to computers here, you see that because it's red, it says intelligence, which is the stat that it uses, and it's trained only. Okay, so that's an indicator that you cannot use this unless you put a rank in there. And also for Starfinder character creation, because you're level 1, you can't have more than 1 rank in a skill. Your ranks are the same level as your character level. All right, and you'll notice that I have check marks here. These check marks have to do with them being my class skills. And if you looked at me being an envoy, right, you see that these are my class skills here. All right, so I get an added bonus to choosing these skills if I put a rank in them. And you'll see that I have a +7 here, +3, etc. Okay, and again with piloting, we have that Ace Pilot theme, which gives us that extra bonus to piloting. All right, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and go to our inventory, and we're going to start populating some items. Look at this chubby little goblet over here. It's a glutton. All right, so you see I already have something popped up here. We're actually, because it's already up, I'm just going to go ahead and drag that over. We're going to grab a field ration. Now, when you're creating a character, you get 1,000 credits to start from. All right, it's the same for everybody. Everybody gets 1,000 credits. And I'm just going to go ahead and populate this list. All right, I'm going to grab myself definitely field rations, which lasts me a week. Only costs one credit. All right, and I'm just going to start selecting a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm going to start with weapons. And I personally, now, there are different ways that you can look at stuff. I can just go to categories. I can look at hands, subtypes, types. I also have these little buttons up here for armor and weapons, right? But once you get to know the things that you want, yeah, you could definitely just go through everything, right? And it might help you to look through using these search functions down here. But considering I actually know what I'm going to get, I'm just going to type them out. So I'm going to grab myself a hunting rifle. I'm going to grab myself some rounds for long arm, which gives me 25 rounds for my hunting rifle. I'm going to grab some armor, so I'm going to grab second skin. I'm going to grab some everyday clothing, right? Because second skin, if you read the description, it's basically a spandex suit. It's a body stocking, right? And I'm not going to walk around in a body stocking, you know, as fit as I may look. Definitely going to attract some unwanted attention by walking around in a body stocking. I'm going to drag that over, grab some clothing. I'm going to get some healing serums, right? MK1s. I'm actually going to grab 2 of them. So I drag that over, and I'm going to hit 2 instead of 1. And if you look here, you'll see that you have different little radio buttons here, right? And it's carried or equipped. So this would be off, this would be carried, and then this would be equipped, right? So I'm going to equip that clothing. My hunting rifle, I definitely want to equip. I'm not going to equip my field ration, so that's going to stay as carried. My rounds, second skin, that's all well and good. All right. And you'll notice that my bulk changes depending on what's going on. So if I don't have this, I'm sorry, let's look at something that has a bulk of 1. If I don't have this on, it doesn't show it as the bulk, right? You'll look here. But as soon as I carry, it's showing it. All right, so even if I have it in my inventory, maybe I stored it away in a storage closet or maybe in my starship, right? All right, let's continue here. I'm going to grab myself a med patch. Just drag that over. That's good for diseases and such. All right, I'm going to get myself a comm unit. Now, I like getting a comm unit even though my second skin armor actually has a communication device in it, because the personal comm units actually have a tier 0 computer attached to it. So if I wanted to look at my infosphere, you know, my planet's internet, you know, it would probably serve me well to keep that as my little handy dandy portable computer device. All right, I'm going to grab myself a backpack. Backpacks are a great thing to have, especially if you have a lower strength, because if you notice that my carry capacity is being unencumbered, being half of my strength score, and encumbered being my strength score, and then anything above my strength score, I'm overburdened. So this helps me by, if you'll notice, once I click it on, well, first I'm going to let you see the description. You'll see that this backpack will allow me, once it's properly fitted, to treat my strength score as too higher for the purpose of determining my carry capacity, right? So that means even though my strength score is too higher for the purpose of carrying, it doesn't mean I'm stronger at stabbing somebody in the face with a survival knife or, you know, beating them with a club. It's just for carrying items, right? And then once I equip it, it's not going to count as part of my bulk, okay? So you'll see I just equipped it, and now my bulk is back to normal, but you'll see my carry capacity has changed, okay? And that's awesome. All right. Let's see, we're gonna get a hygiene kit, which is for flavor. There's no real benefit to this as far as mechanics. This is mostly just roleplay. You know, I don't want to be walking around as a smelly garbage lady. All right, we're gonna grab ourselves a fire extinguisher. You know, fire extinguishers are super handy. As a standard action, I can deploy a fire extinguisher to end the burn effect on any creature of medium or smaller. If I were to extinguish a larger one, it would take more than one round. All right, so I'll grab that. And I noticed something here is, if you look at my second skin, boom, boom, I actually have an armor upgrade slot of 1. So I can upgrade my armor with 1 slot. Now, I tried looking this up and I can't find it. So it's possible that the entry is just not there. So if I look, I'm looking for infrared sensors, right? It's not showing up. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it. So I'm going to edit the list. I'm going to press the plus button and I'm going to add an item, okay? And I'll pop that open here. And with my new item, I'm going to type infrared sensors. The type is an armor upgrade. All right. Price would be 200. And if I wanted to look that up, I would just go to equipment, look at armor augmentations. All right, and I'll just, let's see if I can find it. Somewhere. Well, either way, just believe that I know that it's 200. The bolt would be L, right? It's 0.1. If you notice that anything that's an L comes up as 0.1, and 10 of those equal 1 bulk. Item size we don't have to worry about. Properties we don't have to worry about. But infrared sensors, what the description is dark vision. Max range 60 feet. I'll say grand stark vision. Grand stark vision. Okay, and now that that's there, I know that I'm going to equip that just to make sure that I know that it's equipped. And over here, I'll put in my senses dark vision 60 feet. Okay, and that's pretty much everything as far as what I'm going to purchase. And if I do the calculations, I'm going to end up with 38 credits. All right, the notes here is I'll have to, the only thing that populated itself was the size. Okay, everything else is something that I'm just going to have to put in myself. She's like 5'5", maybe like 125 pounds. Her alignment is chaotic good. Her deity, she does not have one. Appearance, you know, white-haired, shoulder length, sassy. All right. Her languages. Now, her languages are pretty much, she speaks common, right? Because everybody speaks common. And then any other language has to do with your home world the race that you are, and she is a human, so I mean she is bound to the just common language, and her intelligence modifier would bring up the amount of languages she knows. Now, considering that she's from Eox, I'm going to allow her Eoxian. She's going to speak Eoxian, right? And that's it. The notes, what's cool about notes is that I can go ahead and populate this. I can write a book, and I don't think that there is any sort of character limit, and it just keeps going down. So you can add a full backstory, you can add any other little random tidbits that you want to put in your notes function, and I think that's a great utility to have. The next tab is for Starfinder Society, and you'll notice I have a little Starfinder Society here, and that's because I'll be hosting Starfinder Society games. This will not be a Starfinder character, a society character, but if I were to create one, I would put my society number here, my character number here, scenario and AP number here, and I just go ahead and do all of this so that it's easier for my GM to collect this data and then put it on a chronicle sheet and send it off to Paizo, right? And boons also, if I were to have boons, I can go ahead and put my boons, you know, over here for the scenario that I'm running, right? Not going to do that though. All right. Then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our actions. You'll see that my hunting rifle has populated here. And the ammo, I'm actually just going to put 25 rounds here. It does not auto-populate when you purchase it. And for some reason, I don't see the ranges of the weapons also being populated, so you're going to have to put that in yourself. I know the hunting rifle is actually 90 feet, so I'm just going to put that there. Now, if you're tracking your ammo, which you should do, because it is a crucial combat use, you're going to want to do that, because after 6 rounds in a hunting rifle, I have to reload, and that counts as a move action. So I don't want to, you know, screw up the system by not reloading and just having infinite ammo, and then I get to have more action economy because I get to use extra movements because I didn't reload. So I definitely want to keep track of the ammo that I'm using. All right, and then when I go ahead and use my hunting rifle, I could just go ahead and double click that area here, and then for the damage, click it over here, right? Now, if I were to have spells here, it would show here as well. This is an envoy. Envoys don't have spells, but what I can show you, and this is the created character, just so you guys know. We're actually completed. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. You know, once you know what you're trying to go for, it's pretty simple populating it. And like I said, all you have to do is go through the manual, look at your races, look at the descriptions, and you could go ahead and research it yourself, but you at least know the order of events in which you have to make this. And before I finish, I just wanted to close out and show you that pre-generated character that's actually a spellcaster. Now you see that everything else is pretty much the same here, aside from the races and stats, right? The only thing that's going to be different is you'll see the abilities are different. And you see that this creature, the Shirin, has healing powers and different racial traits, right? Different feat. Inventory is a little bit different, right? And our actions, if you look here, you'll see that this has spells, right? And what I'm going to do is I'll have it set to summary. It'll tell me what the spell is, right? And I could look it up right here. But I could also keep this as an action. Move my, yep. These are the preparation, what I have prepared, right? And these will get populated. I don't want to do that. Right. And then I will use them as actions. So let's say I had a telekinetic projectile. I would just click that. It would roll it for me. And let's say for whatever reason that 2 hit was a natural 1. Great job. I just go ahead and hit, and it will give me the damage. Right? Pretty simple. And that's all you'd have to do when you're populating your spellcasting class. You'll just have extra options here, and you just drag and drop. If you look, I have a spell window here, and I would just drag and drop the spells that are useful for my class, or usable for my class rather. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, go ahead, feel free to message me. I will put links below in order for you to get to Discord. We do have a Fantasy Grounds College, in which we hold classes, one-on-one private classes or group classes in character creation, not just for Starfinder, but for D&D, Pathfinder, Savage Worlds. You name the system, we have somebody that knows how to teach you either the basics or advanced classes. We also have GM, DM classes, and if you're interested in any of that, or even interested in learning how to use Fantasy Grounds itself, because it is a little bit of a learning curve. I don't even want to say it's a steep learning curve. It's just a little bit of a learning curve. It only took me a few days to really get the hang of it. So if you have any questions when it regards to anything that has to do with Fantasy Grounds or any of the systems, feel free to stop in our Discord, or you could check us out at fantasygroundscollege.net. It has the appropriate links for the Discord channel there as well. You could also just write in the comments down below, and I will go ahead and answer anybody who has a question. So thank you for stopping by. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you next time.